Yo, yo, this is Don Mondo coming at you live. Well, not really live, but coming at you at the beautiful country of Canada, still here. And if you see my other episodes, how I compared the difference between the cold in Canada, between the cold in America, it's December, it's not snowing. So for all you people in the States, my fellow Americans that think that it always snows in Canada, look at this. It's December. We're in December where it should be snowing like crazy. And we got no snow. As you can check it out, I'll show everybody around. No snow, no nothing. Just rain. That's it. Just rain. And it's not even that cold. It's nice. It's nice weather. Really nice weather. So anyways, as you see some of my channels, I'm doing the comparison between America and Canada. Because of unfortunate events, not stuff that I wanted to, but unfortunate events that happened in my past, I was thankful enough to live both countries and experience both countries. Now, for a lot of people, when they go and they travel, they go, yeah, I've been to Italy. Well, no, you passed by Italy. Yeah, I've been to, let's just say, China. No, you passed by China. In order to live in a country, you got to live there for at least a couple years to really understand the country. So, if you start talking to me about Albania, if you start talking to me about Italy, if you start talking to me about other countries and you've been there for only a couple months as a tourist, I'm not going to believe a word that you say, okay? I'm talking about living there. So, because of unfortunate events that I'm going to soon be in a couple of channels, hopefully some well-known channels that you guys really know about. I've talked to them, and hopefully if everything works out, you guys will understand the unfortunate events and what caused me to live in both of these beautiful countries. So I lived 15 years in America, and I lived 15 years in Canada. So with that being said, I have the full knowledge and the ability to compare both countries because I've seen it all. Living there for 15 years, basically you're a resident, although it's been a struggle, but it's like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could talk about countries if you've been there for over 5 years, 10 years, you know about the country. So, today's episode that we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the police. The police in Canada compared to the police in America. And we're going to do a fine twist to it. We're not going to talk about whose police is better, what police. I mean, I might talk about it. I might explain to you how I was dealt with the police in Canada compared to being dealt with the police in Arizona. But I want to talk about who calls the police the most. Okay? So let's think about it. Get ready, guys. Who do you think calls the police the most? Canadians or Americans? I want to see some of the comments down low. I want to see what you guys think. And I want to hear your idea and why you think that I think different from your opinions. This is what this is about, this channel. I got some opinions, I got some views of the country that I lived in, and I want you guys to explain to me why you think it's different. Maybe some of you were born here, so you've seen something totally different than me being here for 15 years. Drum roll, ready? The country that loves to call the police the most, and they are in love with the police, and they want to call them anytime they can, anytime they're in trouble, even if they're not in trouble, they'll call them for no reason, is Canada. Puff, puff, pass to the beautiful Canadians. Now, my experience in Canada, I've seen it all. They love calling the police. I don't know what it is. Today, I was driving the Camaro. I was trying to pass by a truck who was swerving. He seemed intoxicated. I don't want to say anything. I'm from the States. I lived 15 years in Canada, 15 years in the States, and I was born in Albania. But me still being States, my values and being Americanized, I don't call the police. So I'm not calling the police on the truck. Maybe he's having a bad day. He's going to stop somewhere to pit stop, and he's going to fix himself up a little bit. What happens is the lady behind me calls the police on me because I'm trying to avoid this drunk driver that's in front of me. Anyways, that's one incident. They love to call the police. So be careful driving in Canada. If you swerve or if you're texting and driving in the States, they'll be like, they'll roll down the window, be like, yo, get off the phone, man. What the hell are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But here, no, they will call the police right away. And if you're acting a fool and you're acting weird, they'll follow you. Canadians will follow you to your destination and call the police and do all the investigation for them. So when the police come, the Canadians are ready. They have everything ready for them. Where you live, what color of your car, what you look like, what you're wearing, any jewelry, any tattoos. They're remarkable. They're exquisite. They're impeccable, the Canadians, when it comes to the police. And the woman over here, you got women in Canada that act like badass, like I'm gangster, kind of like the Miami girls, I've been through this, I've seen that, I've hung out with gangsters, I've hung out with rappers, I've hung out with whatever, dealers and mafia bosses, and they'll make up all kinds of shit, right? But the Miami girls, they won't call the police. But here in Canada, the woman will tell you a whole story of all the stuff that she's experienced in Canada. And when she sees a fight or a couple girls call her and says, are you with my boyfriend? Well, me and my girls are coming over right now. Who the fuck you think you are? Da-da-da. She will call the police. Before the girls even come to the house, the police are there. They already got a story down. They got everything down on what's going on. So they make up shit. I hooked up with this girl once here in Canada, and she was telling me all kinds of stories, mentioning bikers and mentioning stuff that you don't even supposed to mention. In the States, we keep that quiet. If we know a certain crew and a certain group, or if we know certain individuals, we don't say anything. We just be like, yeah, I know some people, and they don't like to talk, right? Maybe that's why they don't have a lot of broadcasts or interviews here in Canada, because a lot of people will be saying a lot of stuff that's going to get them in a lot of trouble and probably get them in a lot of stuff. So that's why they don't do the whole interviews and broadcasts. That's why there's no famous YouTubers or famous interviewers or anything like that, because they spill it all. When they say it, they say everything. So the girl I'm with, she's a tough girl, blah, 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 whoopie-woo. I've hung out with this biker people, and we used to do this and we used to do that. We go to the strip club, we have a good time. She wanted to go. I said, if you want to go, let's go. I don't mind. I don't mind taking my girls to the strip club. I think it's fun, right? So we're hanging out, we're having a good time. One of the girls doesn't like her attitude, and then she goes, who do you think you are? And she goes, you don't know who I am. You don't know who I'm affiliated with. So automatically she's like, okay, then yeah, I'll go outside. I turn over. I say, well, are you on the phone? Like, who are you calling? Like, don't be calling some of your people to come over here and rescue you. Like, I'm with you. I'm not going to make sure nothing happens to you. She goes, no, I'm calling the cops. That is bullshit. You see what she did to me? She pushed me and tried to pull my hair for no reason. Because she's trying to get a dance for you and try to get some money off you. So who do you think that bitch is? I'm like, whoa, what? You're calling the cops on her because she pushed you? After a whole hour, like hours and hours of her talking about how it's just ridiculous. Like I've seen too much in Canada from the States. Like, okay, let's just say 15 years of being in the States. I called the cops one time ever in my life, and that's because my ex-girlfriend stole my car. And the only reason why I called them is to tell them that I don't have this car. So whoever's in my car right now, if there's some gangsters from downtown Phoenix, or if there's some whatever's going on in my vehicle, I'm not in my vehicle right now. My vehicle is stolen. I don't know who stole it. I didn't give up her name. I didn't give up any information. This is the first time I've ever called the cops in my life. So they go, okay, what's your name? Let me get some information down. Oh, you know you got a warrant out for your arrest because of a non-payment of something. So I get handcuffed and took him down to Maricopa County, spent the night in jail, paid that fine that I need to pay, got out. Asked them about my vehicle. They told me, because you told her that she can drive your car, which I did because I was drinking, and I'm against drinking and driving. I said, you could drive the vehicle. Because of that, she decided, or the cop said, because I told her, I guess this is a horrible area. I mean, I'm right here on the highway. But anyways, because I gave her, I told her that she can drive my vehicle, that gives her about a week to have possession of my car, and there's nothing I can do about it. So for a whole week, I can't even consider the car stolen. I can't call the cops. I can't do anything. So I said, F that. I'm going to take matters in my own hands, call a few people in the states that I know, in Arizona, of course. If you know certain individuals, they know that person, blah, blah, blah. I found the car before the police found the car. So that's the first time I've ever called to try to not get help from them. Well, if they could find my car, that'd be great. But just to let them know I'm not driving my vehicle. So whatever goes on in my vehicle, I'm not in it. Whatever takes place. And since that day, they handcuffed me. They put me away because of warrant out for my arrest. And I just lost hope. I was like, there's no point of calling the police. They're just, if you're an individual they don't like, or if you're in the system, or if you've done stuff in the past, they're going to consider you as a criminal, so forget about it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always against calling them. I come to Canada, Canadians, they love calling them for everything. There could be a person minding his own business in his vehicle, watching YouTube videos, and they want to know who's that random vehicle outside my house and why he's been there for so long. They will call the police. Police will stop by. Hey, what's going on? Why are you here so long? Like, what's going on? How is there anything happening? Like, what's the reason for you staying here? And I was like, oh, I don't know. What's the reason? I'm just watching YouTube videos and getting ready to go back to work in a little bit. And I decided this was a perfect spot. They love to call the police. Now, it's not a bad thing. Bad things happen. That guy, that person that could have been in the car that day could have been an axe murderer. You don't know about it. He could have had 3 bodies in his car. They're safe. So all I'm saying is a lot of Canadians are, I guess if you want to call them, they're safe. But they're too safe. I don't mind older people calling the police because they're a little nervous, they're a little intimidated. But what I hate the most is the wannabe gangster tough guys, and they call the police. Those ones I cannot stand. Let's get this straight. Let's just say, well, this happened to me, right? A buddy of mine asked me for some money. Okay, he's a good friend of mine. He used to work at my pizza shop, right? So he calls and he goes, "Hey, bro, can I borrow $500? Bad situation. I gotta get some stuff for the family, groceries or whatnot." Did he have to get groceries? Did he need the $500 for his family? I have no idea. Maybe it's because of his own habits, or maybe he wanted to. I know he likes to gamble. Anyways, I gave him the $500 because I felt bad, and he was supposed to come to work. He took the 500, quit work, decided to go work for another job. I don't mind. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I can find another driver anywhere. There's a million drivers around. I try to ask for my money back. I wait about a week. I like to give people a little bit of time because maybe they forgot and maybe they'll come back to you. So anyways, there's a lot of stories. So I want to get to them, a lot of them, but I want to get them down to the 30-minute mark because I like my conversations and my announcements, my interviews to be about 30 minutes or so, because after that, people got stuff to do and they got other plans in life. They don't want to hear you speak. But I really want people to know the difference between Canada and America. Americans hate calling the police. Canadians love calling the police. That's a big difference. Anyways, this guy, now he's a big tough guy, gangster guy. I guess he's been to jail for assault with a deadly weapon, and he's had a lot of charges. And anyways, he was acting. I said, "Hey buddy, listen, that $500 you never gave back to me. You quit work, you blocked me, but you never gave my $500 back." So now, this is the worst thing, guys, the worst thing in the world. When you lend somebody money and now you got to chase after your own money that you lent to them. But what makes it even worse is you lend the money out of the kindness of your heart to help out that individual. At the end of the day, you try to go get your money back, so you got to go out of your way. You got to spend gas. You got to go to their house to try to get your money back, and you get in trouble with the law. So check this out. I'm talking to him on the phone. I said, "Listen, I just want my $500 back. I've been to this guy's house plenty of times. I know his family. I know a lot of people in his family. So since I've been to his house plenty of times, I didn't see it as a big deal. As in the States, this is what I would do. If somebody owed me money, or he's a good friend of mine, or used to be a friend of mine, I'll go to his house. He'll either not open the door, or he'll tell me to leave, or he'll pull out a gun and say, 'Don't come back because I feel threatened by you.'" That's what people in the States would do, right? Well, this big, bad, tough guy, strong, works out every day, juice head, ready to go. He goes from the window, he cracks open the window, he goes, "I'm not answering your phone calls for a reason. I'm not giving you your money back. Haven't you figured it out?" And they're chuckling with him and his girlfriend in the background. So I'm like, okay, now you have my money. Now you're chuckling. Now you're making fun of me. This is hysterical. Like, what did I do wrong? I'm trying to help you out. You said you were in need. And I think he got kind of in trouble because the girl's like, "Why'd you even ask him for money in the first place? Like, where did that money go? What did you do with your money?" Anyways, I can care less if he got in trouble with his girlfriend. But automatically, what happens? The police arrive. This big, bad, tough guy that's been there and been in a lot of fights, and he doesn't have the audacity. Not that I was going there to attack him, not that I was going over there to fight him or to cause any problems. I wanted to have a sit down and say, "Hey, how long is it going to take for you to have my money? Is it going to take a couple weeks? Is it going to take a day? Like, what's the exact day that you're going to give my money back? If it's going to take you a whole year, or if you want to give me $1 every day for 500 days, I don't mind. Just let me know what's going on." Nope. The cops come. The cops come. They don't want to know anything. They don't care. Why are you in your property? Why are you harassing him? I get handcuffed. I get sent down to the holding cells. I get charged. Of course, I get released. I get a lawyer. Charges get dropped later down the road, but I still Now here's the funny part. I lost my $500. I lost a good worker because he's not going to come back and work for me. I lost a friend that I thought I had a friend, and I had to pay $7,000 for the charges that I had, which is uttering death threats. So uttering death threats. What else? Uttering death threats. Something else like causing a disturbance and some other stuff like that. That those charges lead. There you go. Guaranteed it's somebody calling the cops, calling the ambulance, calling the cops, because this is Canada, man. It's madness over here. Like literally, they get called for no reason. And when they call, here's another scenario. At the pizza shop, a lady comes inside the bathroom. She decides to do, I don't know, she's doing some stuff in the bathroom. Like, she has some habits, right? I could tell by the markings on her hand and on her arms. So she was stuck in the bathroom. She's in the bathroom for 30 minutes. I said, just let her go, man. She's eventually going to wake up and leave. The worker goes, no, I'm not going to let this girl 30 minutes in the bathroom. I'm going to call the cops. Now, she calls the cops. Cops come. Now, here's the crazy part. I think it was about 8 to 10 officers for one woman. For one female, 8 to 10 officers, which I even was like, guys, you guys are scaring her. You're making her uncomfortable. There's 8 men at the front of the bathroom door going against one woman. I'm like, guys, this is crazy. It's uncalled for. So I'm the one who actually got her out. I said, listen, everything's okay. You're not going to get in trouble. Just come out of the bathroom and blah, blah, blah. She ended up coming out. They wanted to arrest her and take her away. I don't know why. I guess she had like a warrant out for arrest or whatever the case might be. But here's another scenario. When the cops do come, there's like 10 of them, 15 of them in Canada. In the States, you got one cop that comes. If the situation is bad, he'll call up backup, which is another officer. He'll call the whole army if he wants to, if it's something threatening, it's something crazy, but he's not going to call no 10 officers for one lady. It's just, it makes him look bad. Like, you really called the whole SWAT team for one woman that's in the bathroom, was trying to shoot up some dope or whatever she was trying to do. So Canada's just wild with the whole cop thing. It's ridiculous. It's out of control. Like, you cannot trust anybody. Like, there's a word here in Canada which a lot of women use to men, which is goof. Like, they call you goof, which is like you're a pedo, or you're a nobody or loser. I still don't know what the word means. 15 years being here, but the girls like to use it. So they're like, you goof. You're such a goof. You're a goof. Like, I've never been called that ever in my life, because I don't interact with any of those kind of individuals, or any kind of woman any woman, men, doesn't matter, that get drunk and act stupid. I used to in the past, but as soon as they act a certain way, or as soon as they become difficult, or as soon as they cause problems in my life, I don't interact with those individuals anymore. So I cut them out of my life. I changed my phone number. That's the best thing ever. I just change my number and I disappear, and that's it. I'm gone. So they like to call the whole goof thing. So that right there makes like a Canadian, it doesn't matter if it's male or female or whatever, they get all mad. They get aroused, and they get crazy, and they want to do something, right? So it's like, who you think you are calling me this and that? So the girl is manipulating him, trying to get him angry, or it could be vice versa. So now they push the person's buttons. So now the person gets aggressive and goes, oh yeah, you think I'm a goof? Then watch this. And he takes a chair and throws it across the room, or does something, or yells and screams. And she goes, I'm calling the cops. So automatically it goes from, you're such a goof, to, I can do this to you. I can call My whole group of friends, they know where I'm at. Do you know who I am? Do you know what I'm capable of doing? As soon as they say that, soon as they say, you know who I am, soon as they say, you know what I'm capable of doing, you know who I'm involved with, you know, I know they got nothing. I know I can totally do whatever I want and nothing's going to happen with this person. Now, there are those type of people. I'm not saying Canadians are wussies. I'm not saying nothing happens in Canada. Okay, you don't get me wrong. Okay, you might took this whole thing and be like, Canadians are a bunch of punks and a bunch of sissies, and they like to call the police all the time, and they're not gangster, they're not tough. No, guys, no, my Americans, my fellow Americans. Okay, Canadians, probably some of the gangs or some of the people down here are the most dangerous individuals that you'll ever gonna meet in your life. It's just very quiet. It's a very quiet country. Not a lot of stuff gets posted on the news like America. They don't like to post stuff on the news every 2 seconds. Like, there's a killing over here, there's a killing over there. They don't do that, you know? They don't do that on the news. You could have 13, 14 people, they're just going to say missing. We had 15 people missing yesterday. We had 6 people missing. We had 7 people, like, to them, missing means they're dead, but they're missing. So nobody knows where they are. They could be in the river. They could be, like I said, up north. Up north, it's very cold up north. Up north is very cold. Up north is very dark. Up north is not a lot of people go there. Not a lot of police officers go there. And they got reservations out here in Canada. So there's certain reservations that are in the city. In the States, to get to the reservations, you got to drive 2-3 hours. Here, you got a reservation that's only 30 minutes away, which the police are not allowed to go to the reservation. What that means is that you could, if you're native, you can do whatever you want to do, steal a truck, let's just say, go to the reservation, the police are not following you no more. You can dismantle the truck and you can start selling it as parts, and you can do that with people too. Like the Mexicans, how they grab you and they take you to Mexico. Say you're from Arizona, you're in Arizona, they put you in the trunk to take you to Mexico, you're gone, you're done, you're finished. They could do that here and it's only 30 minutes away. It's called the reservations. So you gotta be careful, okay? Nobody's saying that they're sissies and they're wussies. They just don't put a lot of stuff on the news in Canada, okay? Don't get me wrong. And here's another thing. Here's another big thing. You got to think of this. Canada does not have the RICO. Yeah, that's right. The RICO law that gives you football years, 100 or what? Or no, not football, but basketball years. 120 years, 140 years, 100. They don't have that in Canada. I think murder, or if somebody comes to your house in self-defense, even if you kill somebody, it's like 10 to 15 years. You're on good behavior. It's your first time. Somebody was threatening you. You're looking at 5 years and you're out. No RICO law. So yeah, Canada is very dangerous. You got no RICO. And RICO's the only reason why people in the States don't declare gangs, don't do the whole, you know, what they did back in the 1990s or the 2000s, where they wore their colors and then they were out there in the blocks and they're out there hustling. Like they do it nowadays, but not like it was back then. It's very rare now that you see like 20, 30 people outside of a 7-Eleven wearing their colors and just running the whole street. Like whoever comes by there has to buy from them or no matter what. So Canada's more organized. Like if people do stuff in Canada, it's very organized. And I seen some stuff down in Montreal which is crazy. Like I didn't even know about it, but the person that owned the nightclub, so I went to Montreal. I thought Montreal Montreal's beautiful, by the way. If you want like a European experience, you want like Italy, Barcelona, like a whole European kind of influence. If you go to Montreal, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get your like an Italian, Greek. It's a beautiful place to go to, but everything's quiet down there. Everything's quiet. That pizza shop could be like one of the big cartel bosses. You don't even know about it, or you know what I'm saying? That coffee shop, that's just a random coffee shop that you just see old people shooting dice. They could be the most dangerous people in that area without you even knowing about it. That's what I'm trying to say. It's all quiet. But in America, you got the rappers wearing the chains. You got people. I mean, you can see it on the media. It's on social media every single day. They're telling people how they're murdering people. They're putting it on their rap songs. You know what I'm saying? Murder on my mind. You know what I mean? The guy's still in jail. He's still fighting for his life. I forgot the kid's name. And the murder on my mind. Anyway, the YSL. Like the YSL, Slime. He finally got out. You know what I'm saying? He's putting it in his rap songs. He's putting it everywhere in his rap. YSL, I'm a gang, I'm a crew. Like self-snitching. They even have a lawyer that's made millions of subscribers now because of self-snitching. He's like, listen guys, this self-snitching is so big that I'm going to get 1 million subscribers and I'm going to become the biggest YouTuber, lawyer out there because this is ridiculous. You guys are doing it to yourselves. There's a lot of self-snitching in the States, and when the police come in the States, they come for a reason. They come because they're serious, and that's what it is. Like in the States, when the police come, it's serious. That's why a lot of people in the States don't call the police, because if they do, it's because of something serious. Here, they'll call for anything. They'll call because there's a gap on the floor and their nice car can't get past it, so they'll try to have construction clean it up and fix it up before they can move their car across it. Or say they get in like they're trying to back up their vehicle, they'll have an officer, they'll call an officer to sit there to watch them back up their vehicle so no other car will come hit their. They'll call the police for anything, you know what I mean? And majority is the woman who get all loud and all crazy and they're drunk, and then afterwards they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I got myself into this and I'm calling the cops. That's their number one. Literally, it's that. Like, they go from, you don't know who I am, you don't know who you're getting yourself involved with, you are a goof, you goof, like their favorite word, you goof. So they go from you goof to you don't know who I am to check this out, like, watch what's gonna happen to you, to I'm calling the cops. This person is not leaving. He's not getting the hint. I'm calling the cops. So, anyways, the difference between Canadians, Americans, there's no RICO law, so Canadians are dangerous. There are there are a lot of mob bosses that you could say from New York that migrated to Montreal, and they probably do a lot of their stuff in Montreal because there's no RICO law. If they get in trouble, they're just going to serve 5 to 10 years, whatever the case might be. Anyways, and compared to getting caught up in the States where you are going to receive 200 plus years. So if the police come in the States to a certain area, that means it's serious. Something serious occurred. It's not some phony baloney. Somebody's scared of their life because somebody's outside and they think something's going to happen, which it probably is not going to happen at all. And it never happens. Death threats here, like, I'm going to come and I'm going to come do this and you better watch yourself. It's all phony baloney. None of that stuff ever happens. That's funny that I said baloney, because it reminds me of Sammy the Bull and Michael Franzese. He goes, baloney? What kind of mafia are you? Who says baloney nowadays? You ain't no mobster. No mobster says baloney. Sammy's hilarious, man. Sammy the Bull is hilarious. But So that's the difference, guys. That's the difference. If you got any questions, any comments, any concerns, let me know how the laws work out here. Oh, another thing. They protect their woman to the fullest in Canada, which I love. I'm okay with that. Women need to be protected. They're beautiful people. They're fragile sometimes. You got to take care of them. And they're not as strong as some men. And some men like to take advantage of them. So that I do like the most. In the States, now they're starting to with the whole R. Kelly and Jay-Z and like all the people that are getting involved and who's the other guy that went in there, man? A lot of people are getting caught up with the whole assaults and whatnot. So yeah, one thing that's good with Canada, they take their woman very seriously. So if the next door neighbor hears a woman yell or scream, you can have just a normal little argument. You could be here from India. Let's just say you're you're Punjabi. Sometimes the Punjabi or sometimes Albanians, not just Punjabi, I'm not trying to discriminate. Sometimes Italians, they like to yell and scream at their woman. If they hear any kind of yelling, any kind of screaming, the police are going to come because their next door neighbor is going to call the police and say, I heard a woman scream. I don't know what's going on next door. And when they come, the man is going to get arrested. 110%. The woman could say whatever she wants. She could say, no, I didn't mean to. I love him. Blah, blah, blah. It's not what it seems. No, you're going to jail. You're going to get a lawyer. You have no right to see her until like it's final, until you go to a trial. Trial's over. Even when the trial's over, even if you win the trial, she still has to sign a consent form that you guys are allowed to see each other once again. So that's one thing that I do like about the Canadian law, is that they protect their woman. They really do. You can hear a random woman just scream on the streets. A lot of men are going to go and protect her, and a lot of men are going to call the cops right away, and something's going to be figured out. So they take abuse, assault, they take stuff like that very, very seriously out here. You know what I mean? So when it comes to women in Canada, it is very serious. In the States, I had a friend of mine. I don't want to mention his name because he's probably going to get upset. But anyways, the woman goes and slaps him. The woman slaps him again. They have it on video. The woman punches him in the face. And he decides to give her one hard one, knocks her out clean. She's on the floor, and she's got a black eye, swollen lip, everything. She had to get stitches. The cop took the woman to jail. And said, "You started. You started everything." And he was trying to defend himself, and that's the situation. Not in Canada. No. The woman can hit you 150 times in Canada. If you touch her one time, you're going to jail. And you're going to catch some serious charges that are going to put you in for a couple of years. And if you decide to become a fucking weirdo, excuse me for my language, if you are one of those type of people that are goofs, or just like pedos and you're into underage kids and shit, do not come to America, actually, because we don't like you anyways, America or Canada. But if you come to Canada, you are not getting out. They're giving you life in prison. I don't know how some of these guys just go in there, they do 2-3 years, they come out and they get a good job, like in the States. They get a good job and they start living their life like nothing happened. No. You're not going to get away in Canada. Canada, you're better off going and committing a murder than trying to go and sexually assault or rape a woman or do anything like that. So forget about that. Like here, there's zero tolerance to women. Like zero tolerance. You can't yell at them. You can't scream at them, which is sometimes it's kind of ridiculous because you could just try to like stop her. Like, hey, stop. Like calm down. Just you grabbing her and forcing her to like stop from her doing whatever she wants to do, which is punch you, hit you, or whatever, you're going to get in trouble. you're gonna get in trouble. There's zero tolerance with women in Canada. Canada is very serious when it comes to the woman. Maybe it's because of Queen Elizabeth, who knows. She made it really serious and likes to put down her foot and nobody harm our woman. But hey, that's okay. That's perfectly fine with me. You should never put hands on a woman regardless. And so yeah, that's another one. So that's another big difference between Canada and America. You know what I'm saying? America, the cops come, they like to see a 50-50. Over here, there's no 50-50. You're in the wrong. You put hands on her, you're in the wrong. You do anything to her, you're automatically in the wrong. So Canada's very big on that. Zero tolerance whatsoever. I'm telling you right now, if you think it's a joke, you want to come out here for a vacation, and you go to a nightclub, and she's not paying attention to you, and you want to throw a drink at her, and you want to push her, or you want to be you want to start yelling and screaming at her, or you want to you want to cause a disturbance and show her you're the boss. No. Not here in Canada, buddy. No. They're gonna put you away. You're gonna do some time, and you're gonna pay a lot of money for stuff like that. Here, you're gonna pay a lot of money. So, anyways, zero tolerance towards women, which is a good thing. In the States, it's kind of messed up, but you see what's going on. I mean, you see what's going on. I'm not lying to you. You see the guys are getting locked up every single day. But what? It's been over 20 years, 10 years. So after 10 to 15 years, now they're finally like the Epstein, whatever that guy is that created his own island, that he brought the girls to the island. I seen him on some kind of broadcast, whatever. But yeah, what, these people are getting caught 10, 15 years later. No. In Canada, you're getting caught that day, you're going to get in trouble that day, and it's going to cost you a lot of money to get out. So those are some of the differences. They love to call the police here over nothing sometimes, but they do have zero tolerance towards women, which is good. They're not a bunch of wussies. There are gangsters because there's no RICO law. So if you've but they're not. Canadians are very quiet. They're harmless people. If you came to Canada and you got yourself involved into something and you are in trouble, that means you did it yourself. The person had it up to here. The glass was super full, and finally they dumped the glass, and that's it. So that's basically what happened. They're not like the Canadians are very quiet. They're very innocent. They're very nice people. They like to mind their own business. It's kind of, I think of it kind of like as a retirement home. Like the place is like a retirement home. Just look around, like nothing. Like I'm over here. I wouldn't be doing this in the States, just outside talking for hours, and then nobody coming up to me. Nobody, not in the States. Over there, there'll be somebody coming up to me asking for a smoke or trying to get my attention or trying to cause it, trying to make something, trying to get in your nerves or trying to get you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Canada is very cool when it comes to that. If you want a quiet place to relax, to raise your kids and know that nothing's going to happen to them, then you should come here and live your life. You know what I'm saying? Or if you want to retire and you just want peaceful, like there's a lot of places, especially up north where nobody even knows their neighbor, then you can do that. You can go up north, they don't even know who their neighbor is, and you can live in total peace, and everybody's gonna leave you alone. Nobody's gonna even know what your name is, Not in the States where everybody's in everybody's business. In the States, everybody wants to know who everybody is, what the other person's doing, and blah, blah, blah. I might be wrong. Some Canadians who've lived here the longest, because they lived in the city, and they're involved with special groups or individuals, and so they might say something different. But I'm talking about a person who is moving here from America to Canada. If you moved here from America to Canada, you want to live a life of peace, and you want nobody to bother you, just go to work and stay home, that could happen. In the States, you might get involved into something. You might get involved into something. You might have something happen to you. Quick story. Very quick story because it's funny. It's not funny, but it's something that I would want you to hear. So I get in a little trouble in Maricopa County in the States, and I go in there, and there's a lot of people passing by that are in ICE facility. ICE is immigration holding cells. I met a guy, he's from Pakistan. Okay, so this is immigration holding, he's from Pakistan. And he told me a quick little story. I said, he was a smart guy. I talked to him. He turned Muslim while he was doing prison time. He was praying to Allah. So I just had a conversation really quick because we didn't have too much time. And he was like, yeah, I've been in America for 30 years now. And I said, oh, okay, what do you think of America? Like, I know you're in jail, but what do you think of America? I hate America. America's stupid. It's a horrible country. I want to go back to Pakistan. I said, you've been here 30 years and you hate America? He's like, yeah, 28 years I've done in prison, and then 2 years I've been on the outside. So that stuff won't happen if you come to Canada. So this individual worked for somewhere. Where did he say? He worked for, I think it was a construction company. He came to America. He got a construction job to try to make some money for his family, but he was happy in Pakistan. In Pakistan, he had a house, he had cars, he had everything. He was well off. But his wife wanted to come to America, so he came to America with his wife. So anyways, he came here from Pakistan. He used to hang out with these Mexicans, you know what I'm saying? With the Mexicanos, cabrones, viva la raza, la familia. So he started hanging out with the Mexicans. He doesn't know that the Mexicans, they're good Mexicans and bad Mexicans, just like everybody else in the world. There's good Albanians and bad Albanians, but these ones, he found the bad fruit. He picked the fruits, he got the bad fruit. So the Mexicans decided to tell him, we're going to go and shoot some pool. You want to go and shoot some pool? He had no friends. He was stuck with his wife every single day. He said, might as well meet some friends since I'm going to live in America now. So he decided to go and shoot some pool. First time he hung out, he went to go shoot some pool. Everything was okay. Nothing. Had a few drinks, shot some pool, went home. Great time. Next week, same thing. Want to go shoot some pool? He did the same thing. The other week after that, they go, we're going to stop by a convenience store. We're going to go and we're going to grab some tall boys. And then we're going to go and drink beforehand. And then go inside. And he said, okay, if you want to do that, we can. They ran up to the car. They said, drive, hurry up. Something happened in the convenience store. And the person, this is a true story. I swear to God, I could get the guy's paperwork for you. I can find it out. This is a true story. I'm not making it up. This is what he told me, and I saw his paperwork. Anyways, hurry up, blah, blah, blah. Police start swarming him. The helicopter comes. They all get caught. What happened was the Mexicans went inside the 7-Eleven, decided to rob the place, came out with like a couple $1,000, some pack of smokes, and some liquor. Since he was the driver, he had to do time for whatever, you know what I'm saying? And he got in trouble while he was in prison. He did a stabbing, the person died, so that added another 10 years to his time. So whatever, he got like aggravated assaults and assisting to a murder while he was the driver to a murder, all this kind of stuff, right? So anyways, he got hit with a bunch of charges, and that's what happened. If you come to Canada and you meet like a certain individual and they tell you they're going to go play a game of pool and then they're going to go home, they're going to play a game of pool and they're going to go home. None of that stuff rarely happens here. There's never any kind of murders around here. There's never any problems that happens. The only problems that can occur in Canada is if you cause the problem. You are the problem if something happens to you in Canada. Not Canada, but you are the problem. In America, anything could happen. You could have a bad day, meet the wrong person, trying to be a nice person to help them out, could catch you and put you in the hole. You know what I mean? You never know. So that's my breakdown. That's my breakdown when it comes to the police, the system, and how it works. Like I said, the woman, zero tolerance in Canada. Forget about that. They're super protected. Don't come over here with that attitude like there's no 50-50. Like, bitch, you don't know who I am. Like, I'm this and I'm that. Like, da-da-da. Like, you don't know. No. Leave that shit in America and come here with the attitude of being respectful and nice and, showing them that you're a gentleman and you got morals and that you love your mother, your sister, your family, and treat them like they're your mother, your sister, your family. If they start acting up and they start getting crazy, don't talk to them. Because those are the ones that I'm talking to you that are going to say, I know this, I know that, I'm all this, I'm all that, and then when it comes to it, I'm calling the cops on you. So, like I said, yeah, that's basically it. So that's another episode of Don Mondo and the Jump Off. And we're the Jump Off, baby. We go from one episode, one country, one announcement to another announcement. If you like it, give me a like, give me a comment. I'm going to start being on some shows soon to let you know the story of my life. Like, I could write a book on it. I'm only 34, but I think I lived to about 8 years old with all the stuff I've seen and the stuff I've been around and the millions of people that I met in my life. You know what I'm saying? It grows you old. Once you start once you start traveling to country, city to city, meeting different people, you get older, you get wiser. You start learning to be with yourself. It's better to be alone. It's better to be, you're more productive being alone. You can definitely save more money being alone. And you can definitely get yourself out of trouble being alone. So that will end the episode today. If you got any comments, anything you want to talk about, if you're somebody who's trying to come to Canada for a vacation and you want to know some nice places to go, where to sightsee, let me know. If you're a Canadian who says you've been to America, but you only been in Detroit, you've not seen America. Detroit is not America. If you go to the West Coast, let me know. Hit me up on my Instagram. I'll tell you some nice places to go to the West Coast. I might introduce you to some nice people, good, honest businessmen that have their life together that will show you a good time. Go on the boats, jet skis, and have a great time. They don't mind. That's another thing with Americans. Americans will open the door to you. They'll have you come over for a party. Canadians are more protective, more preserved, I guess. They're more, leave me alone. I don't know who you are. Step back. We just met. Like, don't talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, that's another episode. We'll talk about that. But as for this episode, for the police, who enjoys to call the police? The differences between America and Canada. Canadians love calling the police. Americans rarely ever call the police unless it's a serious matter. The police are more aggressive in America. The police in Canada are very nice. I don't know. I've always seen, they're just nice people. I've never had I've seen some people in immigration, and then the police officer will go, you want some Subway? I'll go grab you some Subway. In the States, if you're in Maricopa County with Sheriff Joe Pio, and he tells you, Sheriff Joe Pio, let's go to Subway and get you some Subway, you're going into the hot box, and you're staying there with 140 degrees hitting the hot box, and you're not having a pleasant time. So the police here are just trying to do their job. They're not risking their lives. There's not a lot of stuff going on, and if there is, it's very quiet and behind the doors, behind closed doors. So like I said, it's not chaos. That's what I mean. America's a lot of chaos. Canada's more calm, but stuff does go on. Plus, no RICO Act, so it does get crazy down here. So you got to watch out who you meet, who you involve yourself with. But if I want to say how do you, like a percentage wise, if you're gonna come If you go to America and you have a bad attitude, you're 80% chance you're gonna go to jail or something's gonna happen to you. If you come to Canada with a bad attitude, you're looking at a 30% chance, because other people are just gonna leave you alone, or they're gonna think you're a weirdo, they're gonna think you're a psychopath, or they're probably just gonna call the cops and tell this guy, hey, go back to his country. Anyways, that's the difference between America and Canada when it comes to the police and how it works and who calls the police the most. I'm signing off. I'm going to think of another episode of what the similarities and differences are. But that's it. I'm signing off, everybody. Thanks for listening. If I missed anything, let me know. I'll answer some of your comments. And God bless. Happy holidays. Happy New Year's. Stay safe, especially in the States. It's very dangerous out there. Here in Canada, not so much. Like I said, it's very quiet. And if you don't believe me, you could check the crime rates. Check the crime rates between Canada. Check the crime rates between America. You could tell that there's a big difference in that. But wherever we are, you can get in trouble wherever you are. No country's safe, no city's safe, no person's safe, because it only takes that one mistake, that one day. So everybody be careful. Love you all and stay safe, all right? Don Mondo signing out.